Honestly, this was quite the surprise today. I did not expect to see a My Hero Academia chapter release. I figured we were going to have to wait probably some time until maybe this upcoming week or the week after, but that obviously was not the case. The chapter is out, and this also goes for all the other chapters, not just My Hero Academia, but for One Piece as well. But holding off on that for a second, I do want to make a couple of clarifications. From this point going forward, okay? After these two chapter reviews I want to be doing today, for instance, for My Hero Academia and for One Piece, from now on, I will start reviewing from the official Viz release. And the reason why, for anyone starts freaking out, is because, as you know, I made a video a couple weeks back to where it mentioned Viz was going to be having free chapters for everyone to read every single week, and this was Shonen Jump allowing this, and they're trying to take a step forward to do this as well, and to honor their wishes, I actually want to go through with it and, you know, start reviewing the official chapters when they come out, because it's going to be coming out every single Monday or Sunday. This might be one of the last few times I ever do something like this, like reviewing a chapter that comes on, you know, MS or JB. You know, this could be potentially the last time. So I just want to make sure I clarify that going forward now, I'm probably going to start reviewing the official chapters on Viz Monday or Sunday whenever they come out. But okay, with all that out of the way, let's talk about this chapter. It's a very short chapter. It's 14 pages. It's following the theme of the previous chapters that we've been getting for the past, 3 months now, maybe 4 months. It's been following the same theme of very short chapters, and it's quite a quick chapter. It's very simple, straight to the point, and I think really, in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to be anything too complex where people can't really understand it through one read-through. But there is a few things I do want to talk about when it comes to this chapter that's pretty interesting if you're a fan of Ochaco's character, but also the possibilities for Izuku and what One For All is actually capable of. But hold that thought for a second. There is something that was said in the offer comments today that came out with these chapters. Apparently Horikoshi, he's in the process of moving, which this could potentially explain why he's been having such a delayed amount of pages, or why his page count is so small, is because maybe for these past few months he's been prepping to move, searching for houses, whatever, to probably have a better, you know, place for his job, living, doing whatever he needs to do. I feel like maybe this could be the reason. Basically, Horikoshi announced or said in his offer comments he's in the process of moving, and moving all his figures is very stressful. He's got like a mountain or something of figures, so it makes a little bit of sense. I mean, when you think about everything behind me and all that, and the manga and stuff, I can imagine how difficult it could be to move a lot of, you know, manga volumes or figures especially, because they can easily break if you're not able to, you know, safeguard them while you're traveling to another location, especially if the journey is a couple hours from your previous location. But yeah, that's the main point here. So Horikoshi, apparently, he's moving. So this could explain why this chapter is short, and the previous chapters have been short. Who really knows? Hopefully, in this upcoming year for My Hero Academia, we get a little bit longer chapters. Even though the chapters have been very good, I do hope that, you know, they get a little bit longer. But okay, I've left you waiting long enough. Let's talk about the chapter. So the chapter opens up with Ochaco and giving her some characterization. I mean, when you think about it, thinking about what this arc has been about Class A, Class B, and Horikoshi kind of giving a spotlight to all other characters besides just Izuku, Ida, Todoroki, Bakugo, you know, we have seen other characters get development. Characterization, stuff we haven't really got to see before for Class B and Class A. And it makes sense why Ochaco would get a little bit of spotlight. However, I'm just very shocked that it was at this time and Horikoshi was waiting for this very moment to really go in on Ochaco's character and to show what role she wants to play in the future for the series and also with Izuku. So, the way it starts off is Ochaco is a very young little girl in a flashback, and she sees her two parents have a lot of stress. Like, they're very stressed out, their faces are full of worry, and we don't really get the full understand scope of what's going on in that exact moment. But we do know that Ochaco is very aware that her parents were very upset, sad, angry, whatever. And then it cuts to a next segment to where she's watching Heroes on TV, and you notice that behind the hero, when, you know, the hero wins, the entire public is happy, overjoyed, and smiling. And Ochaco really liked that because it was kind of made her feel about her parents. Because her parents were always upset or sad. If a hero could come in and put a smile on people's faces, that's why she wanted to become a hero. She wanted to become a hero to be able to put smiles on people's faces, to be able to make them feel happy, and that's what she wanted to do for her parents, besides just the money aspect. Then we also look at, as she continues to watch Heroes and continuing to watch Izuku as an individual, her overall ideal, her motive of what she wanted to do to become a hero, to, you know, be able to make money for her parents or whatever. We know there's much more to it now. She has realized after this long journey of being part of UA, she has seen countless heroes just demonstrate, you know, no regard for their own being, their own self. Like, they'll throw themselves out there, shattering their body. I mean, let's think about All Might. All Might's public display of what he did when he was fighting All For One, it was necessary to bring down All For One, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, even though All Might was a good hero, he's not a good example or teacher for people, which has been a main go-to part about All Might's character ever since he lost One For All. He's not a good teacher. I mean, think about it like this. All Might out there fighting All For One, breaking his literal body. You just see his body just breaking and all that. He, like, crushes his arm trying to fight All For One. This man is literally dying and fighting All For One. And, I mean, this man's body was, like, destroyed. And imagine all these kids that are All Might fans watching All Might do this. That's not a good example for the kids. It isn't at all. And so, seeing that was probably reason enough for maybe Ochaco to say, who's gonna save the heroes? Like, heroes need saving too. Who will save them? And that's what Ochaco's ideals are starting to shift towards. And I feel like this is something that goes along with the main theme of My Hero Academia. Remember one of the big things that, Horikoshi himself has been doing since the very beginning? He's been constantly wanting to expose the problems within the society of this series, Hero Society, and how, the normal heroes you get that just save the day, break their body just to stop a villain, it's cool and all, you want to cheer them on, but it's not something you really should continuously cheer on and think it's a right way to go about things, because they're literally breaking their bodies, and one of these days they're going to collapse and not be able to do anything, and there's not going to be really any heroes to save the day. I mean, let's look at, Izuku when he failed to save Bakugo because he broke his body against Muscular. Yes, like I said, it's a necessary thing. He had to go that far just to stop Muscular, but there should be other ways to go about things sometimes, and that's the point here, is that Ochaco wants to be a hero that can intervene and save heroes, which could potentially lead into a whole new line of work for Hero Society. Maybe heroes actually sitting down talking with individuals, kind of like, a psychiatrist or something, or maybe just heroes that legit are on duty just to back up other heroes to protect them and help them out. Who really knows? But I feel like Ochaco might be at a opening point for a whole new career in Hero Society that can help out heroes that are struggling with their bodies really failing on them after major fights they get in. And I also feel like the whole situation with Night Eye, and not just Izuku and All Might, was another way to really push Ochaco's ideal even further, is because of how Night Eye died and no one really could be there to save him. Ochaco obviously feels probably like she wishes she could save a lot of people, and, also save the heroes that need saving as well, because they're always putting themselves out there to save others, but they're just not thinking about themselves at all. So yeah, that's the interesting part about Ochaco's character, and the way Horikoshi went about it in this chapter. Like I said, I'm very surprised. I mean, it's been something in our face for a very long time. I've talked about it in length for a long time. If you've been following My Hero Academia videos like mine, like what I've been uploading, I've talked about how Izuku's ideology, or how he's constantly fought, or what Stain believes in, is completely wrong. I mean, it's good in theory, but when you really look at it, it doesn't have good results. Like, it has good results at the start, but long-lasting results, it's not good, because All Might, he burnt himself out eventually. Look what happened to him. And if Izuku continues down that path, he's going to burn himself out very quickly too, so that's why he had to stop and start changing up his tactics to be able to fight in the first place, which is leading into the situation with his quirk malfunctioning, and now he's worried that he hasn't really made any progress at all, and that he's needing to be saved once again. So yeah, it's an interesting little outlook on what's going on with Ochaco and Izuku in this chapter. But okay, holding that, let's talk about Izuku's situation and how he was in some ways stopped. So it's what we expected. Ochaco called upon Shinzo to be able to save Izuku. Like, Shinzo, use your brainwashing, take control of Izuku. And Izuku obviously still being able to hold on to his mind in that moment, he, agreed and basically was like, yeah, he, responded to Shinzo knowing full and well that if he didn't respond, he wouldn't have been able to be brainwashed. Izuku was very aware he'd be brainwashed, but he did that because One for All needed to be stopped. So he decided to reply to Shinzo just to be able to get everything under control. And in that moment, we get back into Izuku's mind, and we get another Avatar-like state. I think at this point, it's clear as day now that Horikoshi is going along the lines of introducing all of these original users of One for All as, like, avatars. Because Super Funky, that's the name he pretty much was given at the end of this chapter. He looks like Hellboy, by the way. I just want to say that. But the man starts talking to Izuku. He's like, you're not alone. You need to, try harder or whatever. That's basically what he said. And you're just thinking to yourself, like, so this man is legit talking to Izuku. He's very aware of what Izuku's obviously doing on the outside. And he's just talking back to Izuku, telling him what he needs to do, like, get better or whatever. And it's interesting because, once again, this goes along with the lines of that, yes, One for All is definitely not as simple of a quirk as we thought it was. And there's still so many things that we could still really think about, and maybe All Might had a potential possibility to be like this, but he just couldn't. So let's get into that. So if we're going on the theory that it is an Avatar-like state, like either it's not just the power being passed down, like stockpiling, but it's also, let's say, the quirks from the original users to also their mind and soul itself being passed on, then that would mean that Izuku would be able to talk to each individual user of One for All and get their experiences, their knowledge, to be able to become one of the greatest heroes. And this could explain why All Might is there too, because when All Might passed it on, it's kind of like their souls were bonded, and Izuku now has an eternal connection. And the only way for All Might to really be able to communicate him in that time, for instance, inside of, Izuku's head, is if All Might dies. Then it completely passes over to where he can talk to All Might and get his experiences as well. I think it's not just the fact of stockpiling power anymore. I think it's also about memories and, the things that each individual user went through, but also, their powers as well. And that's interesting. I do wonder if, like I said before, if One for All is gaining sentience. Is it the actual original users talking to Izuku, or is it One for All talking to Izuku? That's a very distinct difference right there, because that really will matter a lot. If it's just One for All, or if it's just One for All taking all the experiences of everyone and creating its own personality with every single individual. That is something to think about, food for thought. But point is, though, is that this individual talking to Izuku, he seems like a nice dude, and I feel like this will once again give more answers to Izuku on about how his quirk works, and how he cannot really be idle or not, just really go blank while he's fighting. He really has to reel in his power because it's so immense. And there was quite a few things that many were talking about I found very interesting in our comment section for these videos I've been uploading. Someone stated, with Izuku constantly stockpiling power, there will get to a point, which I have mentioned this part, it will get to a point where Izuku or, individual users in the future after, One for All passes on, it will get to such a strong point that, he could flick his finger and wipe out probably a continent or something, hypothetically, if it passed on that long, if the body just wouldn't shatter, if you get my point. And that's the point here, is that after a long time, eventually it'll come to a point to where One for All no longer can be passed on, because it's just so powerful, it will shatter your body instantly. And I feel like that's kind of what's going on here, is that One for All has so much power within it that it's just legit leaking out now. Like, they can't keep it in. Like, Izuku's vessel cannot keep in all the power of One for All. It is literally just pouring out of his body, which is the black lightning that you saw coming out. It's so much power now, so much stockpiled that, legit, they can't hold it back, or Izuku can't hold it back. His faucet's open, is just leaking out continuously. And I feel like this might also be another little hidden potential that One for All might have that could connect to All for One. Hear me out. As we know, All for One, as a quirk user, he's able to grab everybody's quirk. For instance, he puts his hand on him, and he snatches it, and then he can give others any quirk he wants that he has stockpiled, and potentially even his own quirk. And as we know the origin story of One For All, how it mixed with his brother, and it became, what it is now. But what if there was more to One For All? What if One For All was able to, in some ways, give some of its physical strength to others? Like, example, like I just said, Izuku's power looks like a faucet. It's leaking out a bunch of energy. He can't really control it because there's just so much power leaking out. What if, because of this now, because of how strong One For All is, what if Izuku could actually just, like, do something similar to All For One, and give some portion of his power to others to kind of physically buff them temporarily? For instance, he could do this to All Might, he could do this to Togata, example. So, yeah, that's a interesting thought. I don't know if Horikoshi will take it down that path, but, I mean, there's a lot of theories here in the way you can kind of interpret the whole situation with Izuku's arm leaking out power, to how he's not alone and all that. Who really knows? But I think that's pretty much about it. It's a good chapter. It's a short chapter, but it's a good chapter. And I'm happy to see, Horikoshi giving Ochaco more spotlight and character development. Hopefully we get more, and this isn't just the final chapter with her development. But with that, I love you guys. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.